Hey guys, what's up? It's Yana. Welcome to day 9 of Camp NaNoWriMo, July 2023. It's kind of the end of the day already. I had some lessons to teach today, which means I'm very tired. But I did also spend the rest of the day working on projects and writing and actually writing quite a lot, writing quite a lot in one of the projects, which makes me very happy because I think I might be able to finish an entire chapter today, which is really, really good when it's kind of really flowing. But my little topic for discussion for today, because once again, this is not going to be a vlog because I don't have the time and I want to get back to writing, and also I'm not really doing anything interesting other than like just typing on a laptop. My little topic for today is feedback and what is useful feedback and what is good feedback. And obviously as writers, we are addicted to hearing what people think of our books. I personally don't know many writers who don't love reviews as long as they're positive, or at least mostly positive. We just really want to know that people are reading our work. So it's really nice when you get a detailed review. And for me, I have always enjoyed when people really tell me specifically what they have liked, because to me that lets me know that they have really paid attention. They've actually really read the thing rather than just being nice. Because I've had a lot of people, and I guess there's a little bit of a difference between actual books and fanfiction. So the book that I have published, I've had some reviews for it, generally positive, and then obviously in fanfiction, because a lot of us write a lot of fanfic, there are a lot of reviews and people often review every single chapter. But from both of those experiences, there are some reviews that are basically just a couple of sentences of superlatives. It's like, oh my god, this is amazing, I really, really loved it, it's fantastic. And that is always very, very nice to hear, and I really, really appreciate those ones. But they are not quite as satisfying as the reviews where the reader actually points out certain characters or certain quotes from your work, or they let you know how specifically it made them feel, or they even tell you what they hope to see next, that sort of thing, that really creates some sort of engagement. And I have completely different rules for fanfiction and for real world writing, if we want to call it that. And in the real world, I do agree with the idea that reviewer spaces are not for authors to hang out in. I do not respond to reviews for my actual real work. I don't think that it's appropriate to make people uncomfortable by you being the author and directly responding to them. And even if you're just going, thanks very much, I'm glad you liked it, I feel like any reviewer platforms such as Goodreads or anything like that, my book is not on Goodreads, by the way, you won't be able to find it because it's in Bulgarian, so, you know, don't even look. But any spaces like that, whatever your equivalent is, you as an author, I mean, you can obviously read your reviews so long as it doesn't impact on your personal mental health, but I don't think that you should respond to them. Fanfiction is an entirely different matter. I respond to every single review because fan communities are all about the engagement, and we're all kind of just being a little bit silly. We're not taking ourselves seriously. I don't even edit my fanfics that well, even though I'm an editor in real life, but that's just my way of decompressing at the end of the day. And while I do put effort in, and sometimes I end up doing a lot of research, it is only when the research is fun, and it is only when the editing is fun, and then the rest of the time I don't even care if it's got some errors in, or if the sentence doesn't sound completely right. You know, that's not what that is for me personally. So I do engage with reviewers in those communities, and again, it's just really, really nice when people are like, oh, this is what I loved. Oh, I hope this character does that. I can't wait for the next chapter. It's great. Rather than just saying, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever read. Because that is extremely nice and makes you feel very good, but it doesn't tell you what you're doing right and what you should do more of, or what you should do less of if you're not getting any reaction, or if you're getting a little bit of a... There's not usually really negative reactions for fan fiction. I feel like most of the time in fan fiction, people who are not huge fans of your story just don't bother like engaging with you. But if you sense that something you're doing, because fan fiction is something that is usually, if you're posting a multi-chapter story, that can evolve while you write it, and it can be influenced by your readers, which is a very interesting position to be in. So you can learn as you go, which is quite interesting. It's similar to how things used to be when certain authors would publish stories in parts in magazines, things such as the Sherlock Holmes stories, even the Picture of Dorian Gray was published in several parts in a magazine initially. So it's a very interesting process where the reviews and the feedback influence the story sometimes in real life. And I think that's one more reason why it's important, if you are reviewing yourself, to try to be a bit more detailed. Obviously you don't have to, you have absolutely no obligation unless that's actually your job, but if you want to be helpful to an author, be specific. And then when we're talking about feedback, obviously I'm an editor in real life, so that's a whole separate thing. How do I present my editing notes so that the author that I'm working with gets the feedback and potentially changes the things that I feel should be changed, but they are also encouraged, rather than, you know, they don't feel chastised for making some error, or they don't feel like I think their work is rubbish, because I don't work with authors whose work I think is completely rubbish. The ones that I've genuinely worked with, I have found something really interesting in their books and something to praise. That is not to say that I would never accept a book that I feel is a bit rough, but I would at least have to believe that the author has something of value to say. Otherwise, if I think there's nothing there, I think maybe it depends on how desperate I am, but I've never been desperate enough to accept a project where I just feel like I can't find absolutely anything in there. So I do try to be quite encouraging, and sometimes use a little bit of humor just to keep things light, because as an author you shouldn't take yourself too seriously, but even as an editor you shouldn't take yourself too seriously. You know, you're there to do a job, and the fact that, you know, somebody forgets their commas, you know, that doesn't mean that you're better than you. I mean, this is obvious, why am I even saying this? But yeah, I guess the takeaway from all of this is that feedback is really important. The thing that triggered this entire massive speech about reviews and feedback is because I have been going through comments on my fanfics today, because it's a very nice feeling. They are very nice. And also I have done quite a lot of editing for my client, and he is quite a good writer in terms of his style is very good, so I don't have to agonize too much over you know, how to say certain things. There aren't really that many errors, which is very, very nice. But obviously there are certain things that we may disagree on where I have to kind of make sure that I'm phrasing my notes in a way where I am being understood and it doesn't sound like I think less of that person's abilities, if you know what I mean. Right, I'm gonna end this here because I'm clearly very tired and rambling. I don't remember if I said, but yeah, we've got all the ticks today on all of the projects. Some of them only got like not single digits, but double digits amount of words in them. But you know, at least I have like, I've looked at them, I've opened the project, I've looked at it, I've typed a sentence. Sometimes that's all you can do. Early lesson tomorrow morning, and then I'm also going to see a friend, but hopefully the rest of the day I will be free and energized and I'll be able to pick up speed again. Okay, so thanks very much for watching this video. I know it was a bit of a rumble. I'm not going to edit it because I don't have energy for that either, so you're just gonna watch the whole like rumbly chunk. Thanks again for watching and see you again in the next one. Bye!